what's going on, everyone? So this is Japin, and I just finished watching the PlayStation Experience Keynote. Sony just started doing the PlayStation Experience starting last year, and they had like a little conference showing off some certain games, stuff like that. And they did it again this year, and which lasted pretty lengthy, about close to 2 hours. If not, I'd say like 2:45. I mean, an hour 45, an hour 50, like around there. So let's get into what they said. First thing they showed was it seemed like an Uncharted trailer, and then I think to me it's like the beginning segment of the game. So you see Nathan just sitting there work, turns out to be his brother, and the real cool part about it is that he's trying to exchange stories with him, and you get to choose what you want to do, and that seemed cool. I'm not the biggest Uncharted fan, haven't gotten into it yet, but it's cool that they showed something else from that, because they already show like the action scenes in E3. So that. The next thing they showed off, which I think was the biggest thing of the whole show, was the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. I was not expecting to see anything from that for a while. Why is that? Because at E3, they just got the director down for that game. So I'm like, okay, we're not gonna see anything about this for like years. And turns out, there it is. It looks crazy. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be, like how it was before, like turn-based, something like that. It seems more action-oriented. I knew they would have to change some stuff of it, like, gameplay-wise, because a lot of those things doesn't fit nowadays, RPG-wise, but I was really surprised they did that. And it really reminded me of Final Fantasy 15. What I think happened is that they're making the remake off that engine, just because like it kind of looks similar. Because once they show the trailer at first, I'm like, oh, they're gonna show like the battle sequences, because they just show like Cloud walking around, and then turns out it's just like they just put it in there, and it's just like, oh, it seems more action oriented, sort of like how Final Fantasy 15 is, like Kingdom Hearts is. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I think this project's so far along. And then also they announced that the Final Fantasy, not the remake, but like the port of the old game is out today for PS4 people. So that's cool. After that, some Black Ops stuff. Not too into that. They showed off Battleborn. They announced split screens for that, which is cool. I know a good amount of people still play couch co-op, so that's good to see that's still going. Next, they showed Street Fighter V, a new character called Fang. He looks cool. He looks like he's gonna be part of Bison's Shadow Moses squad, so that's always cool. They also, I'm not sure if they announced the release date already, but they restated that it's February 16th next year. It's cool. Previously they announced that they were gonna have 6 new characters come in after a year within the release date of the game. And they showed the people off, and they had all like the names there. I remember seeing Guile. Yeah, so Guile, Bullrog, Alex, Jury. A couple other names I don't know who they are, because I haven't been keeping up with Street Fighter like that. So after that, they just showed like a whole bunch of like third-party stuff. So they had this game. They showed off there were a couple of interesting games they saw from like the Adult Swim studio. That's cool to see them actually making games now. Yeah, but like I like their art direction. It's very I won't say too like old school style, but like very influential of that. But able to run with now the newer limitations. So not just being stuck to like how it would be before, but making use of the hardware nowadays. Oh, they announced some big Full Throttle Remastered. I know people will probably be really excited for that. I'm aware of the franchise. I've kind of followed it before back then at a certain point, and that was cool to see actually. So with last Thursday they announced the Psychonauts 2, and they just announced a VR Psychonaut game. They didn't get too specific. They didn't show any gameplay about it, just like how you go into the world. So it's cool to see like I love how Tetris brought back Psychonaut again because of all the praise he gets and got like from back then. What else do we have? Yakuza 5's coming out. I think he said Tuesday, if not really damn soon. And they're gonna bring Yakuza 0 here. It looks cool. It's like a brawler type game. I had no idea what it was, and then I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, this was cool. Maybe I'll take a look into it if I ever get a PS4. King of Fighters 14. They showed a trailer. Sort of in the beginning, I thought it was like just the previous trailer. I'm like, oh, they're re-showing this. But no, they showed different fighters. They announced that it's gonna have they're gonna have 50 fighters in the game, which I thought was pretty crazy. And I didn't know that was just. I know at the trailer it just showed like PlayStation 4, maybe PS3, but I think mostly PS4. And I was just wondering. Well, the first trailer that I ever saw, it said that it was just gonna be in PS. They said it was gonna be in PS4. Wasn't too sure if they're gonna have one for the Xbox One, but here it says console exclusivity to PS4. So I guess if you're kind of a hardcore fighting game fan, it's kind of hard, I guess, to do it on the Xbox One unless you're really into Killer Instinct. Because what? You got Street Fighter and King of Fighters 14? Yeah. If you're really into those franchises, you have to like pick up a PS4 now. What else? So, a new Team Ninja game called Neo. They don't spell it Neo as in like Neo from the Matrix, but Neo as in Niow. It looked cool. Kind of a Ninja Gaiden type style game. Very bloody, combat, stuff like that. I thought it was cool. It seemed interesting. They gave out a couple of free games for the attendance. That was cool. Also, to show like appreciation to the people who actually showed up to that stuff. What else? Brutal. That seemed cool. It was a dungeon crawling type game. Just like where it's based. I guess it's based off like the older game where it looks like just black and white type of you just see letters there. And like the 3D models, but they have like the lettering schemes on them. It looked cool. I actually want to play it. What else? There's a whole bunch of stuff I just written down on my phone. I'm just like, let's see. Fat Princess Adventure comes out today. That was cool to see. Ratchet and Clank demo. I never played a Ratchet and Clank game. They always look fun. I just never like really got too into it. But this one looks like a pretty cool start if like you never got into it or never tried it out. I'll probably play it. I like they have like this gun. Oh, they have a whole bunch of like crazy stuff. They have this kind of disco thing they showed off where you shoot a grenade that comes up, like a disco ball comes in, like you see like sort of disco floor, and then whatever enemy's in there, they start dancing. So then like there's a distraction, so you can just shoot them up there. That was pretty cool. But then they had like this, I forgot what they called it. Basically, you shot it and it like pixelated them, and then like in the background you totally hear like the Pac-Man sounds, kind of giving that retro look to it. And then like they shot like a spaceship that was like in there, like orbiting around them, and it just turned it all to like little pixelated squares. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, I'll probably pick that up. But then they got to the VR section. So they showed Res for VR. I know that was pretty cool. That looked pretty cool. It's Res. Cool to see them bringing that back. Called Res Infinity. Eagle Flight, where you're an eagle and you're flying around. That seemed cool. I don't know why it reminded me so much of Journey, but except like you flying. I just heard that apparently it takes place a couple of years after like all humans like leave the Earth for some reason. Well, they leave that area. So you're just an eagle like flying around. Like if they could like, if the narration of that could go like sort of a style of like Journey, then it seems pretty cool because I know it's just like you're an eagle and you're flying around like an abandoned city, but there's probably gonna be like some story you could like follow along that'll keep it interesting, and it can't just be like a barren city like, oh, you're an eagle. There has to be something else to it. Oh, what else? VR. So they showed like this zombie game going into it. Then it turns like it looked all dark and serious, kind of like cartoon style. But then like it just flipped on to like to kind of like a crazy taxi but zombies. And it's cool because like you can look around and it seems like all the zombies there are like kind of ragdoll physics, like very like sensitive to that. I guess fall into like the whole zombie, you can't control yourself. But yeah, that looked interesting. I like Crazy Taxi, and that probably add on to it. It will be interesting. What else? Job Simulator. I didn't get the gist of it, but it just seems like you just sit like in a regular office, you just touch everything. That'll be probably fun to play once or twice. Golem, which looked weird to me because you're playing as a girl who's controlling a golem. So essentially, you're controlling a golem by middle of controlling a girl. Yeah, they didn't show too much of it. Just that, you know, we'll see how that goes. This one looked hilarious. 100-foot giant robot golf. You're a 100-foot giant robot playing golf, and you're like in the middle of the city. And they should have seen like you're in the moon. You're just like shooting towards the earth. It looked cool. It was funny. It's, you know, I want to play it. It looks cool. Just like, and I think most of these games are VR support. And there's one more before I really get into that. Then they showed Ace Combat 7. It's Ace Combat. I know some people love it. Yeah. So sort of one thing before I continue, I noticed that these VR games, they graphically they're kind of a step down compared to most PS4 games. I think the main reason of that is, you know, once you get the PlayStation VR, it is gonna use like a whole bunch of more power, and so it's kind of a thing where these games do have to be stepped down to that. But that's one thing I noticed, and I totally understand of how that's going. But I know like once the VR, probably all the games come out, people might start complaining about that. But you know, I understand why these games are like that. And graphic and like art style wise, they're doing a pretty good job of just like coping with that for most of the games here. Yeah, but it's certainly something. My stance is still kind of the same on VR. It seems interesting. I have to try it myself. I don't know if it will be down to like if it is console price, if it'll be worth me buying it for another $400, $500 around there. But it's certainly something I really want to try. I just won't know how the longevity of it is. But in order for Sony to make this successful, they have to push it, and that's what they're doing right now. So they showed off Destiny Racing. You can race now in Destiny if you got the Taken King. Yeah. So this cool game. So they showed this game called Hob. It sort of reminded me of a 2D style like Zelda game with the puzzles and the action on it. Looks cool. I'll play it. A new Ni no Kuni. I didn't play the first one. I saw this. I'm like, oh, that's cool for, you know, fans. I thought at first it was like drawings, but no, it was actually like the gameplay of it, and it looked awesome. I just never played Ni no Kuni, so I don't know. Epic then showed off a MOBA called Paragon. They said it was a third-person view. They didn't show any gameplay. It was just more like, you know, teaser trailer. Or pretty, you know, to just show the shooting around. You know, they said they were gonna do it in their own style. So that's interesting. You know, I feel like if that was just anything else, I'm not sure if it would like rise that much. But since it's Epic behind it, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, overall, like I said, I think the biggest thing was showing off the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer of gameplay. Actually, that was a huge surprise. But there wasn't too much stuff like kind of too big names. Yeah, this press conference certainly wasn't as big as like, you know, their E3 one. Like they didn't show Horizon, which kind of sucked because I want to see more about that game. At certain parts, it was just like whatever. But surprisingly, in this one, more than last year's, there were a lot more games which I found interesting coming from like random studios that I had that probably I wouldn't give no care about. Well, yeah, there were a good amount of games I saw which I was intrigued. I currently, like I said before, I currently don't have a PS4, but it's good to know like once I do pick it up probably for Street Fighter, I have like all these other games, because based off like this video and just me just talking about that, I sound pretty excited about a couple of these smaller games that probably I wouldn't really care if I saw it somewhere else. But yeah, so basically that was a whole like rundown of the keynote. Again, I'm pretty psyched to see what else happens with PlayStation, because I know right now, exclusivity-wise, they weren't doing so good, but based off this, there was a whole bunch of games, like kind of smaller games that were like console exclusive, and we'll see if that will keep PlayStation on top for the moment. All right, guys, yeah, it's Jathan. Check it out. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you like this video, maybe you should check out our other videos, like where we unbox the Special Edition PS4, and where we unbox the Halo 5 Limited Edition